Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, for another YouTube video, all in crypto here. And today we have what I believe is going to be a very polarizing video lined up for you. We are going to be talking about Chainlink versus Quant network. And the reason that we're going to be comparing these two cryptocurrency projects, you can't say blockchains because Quant's overledger system and Quant network is not a blockchain. It's something that sits on top of blockchains. The reason we're comparing these two is because I believe not only are both of these projects going to play a fundamental role in the tokenization of the world, everything, but they are essentially trying to do the same thing. And Chainlink is trying to, and what is that thing? Let's explain that first. They're essentially trying to correlate the blockchain space together, i.e., provide an interface, a platform that will allow anybody to plug in to that interface, whether it be Chainlink CCIP or Quant's overledger system, and essentially be able to access the entire blockchain ecosystem. Now, this is huge, and both of these projects are doing a sensational job of it. We're going to be hearing about what Chainlink CCIP is. Chainlink is an Oracle service predominantly, and has now obviously come out with CCIP, which seeks to essentially do the same thing as Quant's overledger system, just in a different fashion. Instead of the overledger system, which sits on top of the blockchain, which Quant Network have, Chainlink's almost integrated within the blockchain, and are trying to do it through messaging from chain to chain. So we're going to be explaining all that in this video. I'm going to start things off with a clip of Larry Fink, a well overplayed clip of Larry Fink talking about the next generation for markets, because it's always important to understand why these projects are going to be as big as they're going to be. You know, these projects are going to potentially be in the hundreds of billions in terms of market caps. I am not going to tell you which one I think is going to do better than the other, because the truth is I don't know. I do own both of these tokens. I own more of one than I do the other. Maybe you guys can guess in the comment section. And of course, let me know your thoughts. But I think they're both going to do exceptionally well. And I want to start off with this clip of Larry Fink talking about the tokenization of everything, which we've played to death. We played it at the start of the year. We've been playing it the whole way through, because this is the next generation for markets. This is the next generation for value, and it involves blockchain. So let's go ahead and play that clip before we get into first Chainlink and then, of course, Quant Network.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of a huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, well, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in an ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
There we go, guys. That is the clip of Larry Fink talking about the tokenization of assets. There are hundreds of trillions of dollars worth of assets that are going to be coming to the blockchain space and tokenized via blockchain and transacted around the world using that. You know, everything, bonds, equities, derivatives, you know, you name it, housing is all going to be tokenized and ran on the blockchain. So Quant versus Chainlink, or I should say Chainlink versus Quant, as we are going to be starting with Chainlink. So Chainlink has recently came out with something called CCIP, which stands for Cross-Chain Interoperability Protocol, which essentially is a way for all blockchains to talk to one another and be able to execute one function on one chain that correlates with another in a secure manner. Very similar to the ideas behind Chainlink's overledger system, which seeks to sit on top of the blockchain space and also acts as a messaging service that correlates blockchains together and gets them to do all these weird and wonderful things. Let's dive in to Chainlink's CCIP and actually have an explanation of it from Sergey, the founder of Chainlink, Sergey Nazarov, talking about CCIP.
We're quite proud and very excited to be announcing CCIP. So CCIP is something we've been working on for many years. In our initial white paper, we made it very clear that we want to support all leading smart contract networks for both off-chain and cross-chain interactions. And CCIP is similar to TCP/IP and other protocols that seek to provide connectivity and seek to make disparate different systems work under one messaging and under one communications standard. So CCIP is really about creating a global open source standard such as TCP/IP or others that will allow blockchains to interoperate with each other, will allow smart contracts from different blockchains to send each other commands, and obviously enable the movement of tokens between chains. And this is the final piece of the puzzle that we are now very, very focused on and have already been working on for years about how we want to enable a truly cross-chain set of smart contracts where all the different features of all the different blockchains and all of their different capabilities really need to be something that we give people access to. Because giving people and developers the ability to generate a smart contract on Ethereum, use DeFi protocols on other chains, send a payment on a hyperledger payment system, maybe get collateral in Bitcoin, or do whatever complicated combination they want to do is something that will unlock an entire world of innovation in our industry. It will unlock an entire new set of applications that were previously not available and previously not possible. And that's why we're doing this.
Pretty interesting, guys. This is very similar, in my opinion, to what essentially Quant are trying to do with their overledger system. They're essentially trying to correlate the entire crypto space. And we're going to move on now to Quant Network, hear a bit about what they're trying to do, and then look at some other interesting things, like why this is such a big deal, and talk a little bit about collaborations, giant collaborations both of these blockchains have, because they are very much pound for pound in regards to collaborations and people that are working and deploying on them. So let's hear a little bit about Quant Network now.
Quant's platform, called Overledger, makes developing for different blockchains easy. It links them and other legacy systems together, allowing financial services to cross digital and physical borders.
Our approach is bringing the technology to the masses, and you can't be limited by geography. The very nature of blockchain is global, and the very nature of how society and businesses operate today is through globalization is also global.
Now, Quant is providing digital payments for an ambitious project called LACchain, which links a dozen countries in Latin America and the Caribbean, along with scores of regional institutions, businesses, and governments.
So in a region as Latin America and the Caribbean, where there's different countries, where different currencies, different jurisdictions, we have always tried to build LACchain as an infrastructure that could allow, the development of solutions that would help cross-border payments and financial inclusion.
LACchain will give anyone with a smartphone the power to make and receive payments and send money abroad, making it a potential game changer for those without access to traditional banks.
I want to pay my friend and they're in Colombia and I'm in Panama. So I press pay, go into my contacts, and the network knows who they are. They have a digital identity as well. That's it. Then I just tell them, how much do I want to pay? And I hit pay.
LACchain could also help when disaster strikes. Distributing government aid to victims of natural disasters can be slow and expensive. But with LACchain, funds could arrive in a flash.
They have an app on their phone where you can just push the money straight to it. Right? It doesn't cost you any of that. It's immediate. As long as they've got mobile phone service, then they've got money they can spend with a QR code, right, in the grocers and the shops, so they can buy food, they can buy water, they can buy all of the things that they need directly with their phone on the day.
Blockchain is about more than just financial inclusion. It's also designed to arm people with the digital tools they need to thrive in the modern world. Something like a digital ID card, which can be tough to get and isn't always transferable between countries.
It's a much bigger idea, really, because the whole point of this regional network, and a lot of them actually, is to bring a lot of what people's lives are in lots of separate different areas, bring them together, make them easier, make everything easier. So you're traveling between regions, doing business with other countries, making payments between countries. It lowers these kind of the big walls that you have, the big walls of red tape, really, between countries within that region.
Quant will help officially launch the LACchain project in 2023, with the potential to rocket an entire region into the future.
Very interesting, all made possible with Quant's overledger system. So, of course, Chainlink uses CCIP to essentially facilitate the correlation of all these blockchains. And, of course, Quant Network uses their overledger system, which essentially is opening doors to the blockchain economy. The technology enables the future's money is now at your fingertips, establishing a new benchmark for blockchain interoperability and ease of use. Overledger, the trusted enterprise-grade yet low-code blockchain platform, enables you to deploy your use case on multiple chains, issuing chain-agnostic digital assets, connecting them to other networks, and deploying multi-chain applications quickly without compromise on security. Built specifically for businesses seeking a simple, trusted, and future-proof way to enter the blockchain world. With Overledger, you can tokenize funds and alternative assets, tokenize deposits, issue next-generation payment instruments, build multi-DLT applications, and, of course, connect to multiple enterprise systems in a very similar way to what you can do with Chainlink CCIP. Now, Chainlink has a number of big announcements. Let's go back to Chainlink and look at what they're doing in regards to sort of bringing everything together. It's very similar, but done in a very different fashion. And it was worth sort of having a look at both these chains side by side.
With a single interface, Web 2.0, fintechs and enterprises can integrate with all the world's blockchains, with Chainlink being, announced and integrating with over 100 chains. And not only that, but they can efficiently use all the applications on those chains. That's a next level improvement of integration. And I personally think from our conversations with various enterprises that this is exactly what they need. They need to take all of their existing systems, all of their existing workflows, all of their existing processes that they've trained 1,000, 10,000 employees on, or all their existing messaging protocols, all their existing routing systems for messages. They need to put it into an abstraction layer like Chainlink, and they need it to come out on the other side in a separate standard that allows them to reliably and in a provable manner interact not only with a blockchain, but also with the applications on a blockchain. So not only will they be able to send a command to a blockchain, but they'll be able to send the command to a specific contract.
Very, very interesting what's going on with Chainlink. Certainly something that we're extremely interested in. And then, of course, you've got the likes of, this was retweeted from Quant, banking giants such as JP Morgan and Citi want to supercharge Wall Street by tokenization asset on the blockchain. This technology has the capability to revolutionize financial market infrastructure, says Umar Fakour of JP Morgan. So you can see the similarities between what both of these two projects are trying to do. Of course, Quant is not a blockchain, Chainlink is. Let's move on to a huge partnership that Quant has actually been working on, and then we'll finish on a big partnership that Chainlink has. And of course, Quant's collaboration with the BIS and the Bank of England on Project Rosalind also incorporates the likes of Barclays, MasterCard, and a number of others. This has been essentially praised as one of the most innovative projects out there. And Gilbert and Quant have both been sort of praised as being a real pioneer in the emerging kind of sector of blockchain meets banking. This is in regards to a CBDC, in regards to various use cases. This is an absolutely huge partnership, and it's not just with the Bank of England and the Bank of International Settlements. It's also with the likes of Barclays and a number of others. For the first time, money is ready for the digital age. A CBDC will enable citizens and businesses to automate cumbersome payments and processes and implement logic into money. For commercial banks and other institutions, the opportunity to apply this programmability to create innovative new products that differentiates themselves from challengers and competitors is almost endless. We encourage every bank to read and financial institution to read the Project Roslyn report and start planning their smart money. The London Hub Innovation was established, blah, 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 blah. So this is an absolutely huge partnership that Quant has. Chainlink are also, and recently announced in light of CCIP, their workings with Swift, who they've actually been working with since they were kind of a startup. But this is a big deal. And again, you can really see how this world of tokenized, this kind of tokenized economy is coming together, and these two projects are at the helm of it.
Just to set the stage, I'm very happy to announce that we are working on an initial proof of concept together with Swift on the use of CCIP. In the capital markets to enable communications and movement of tokens between a number of different institutions in a way that'll accelerate the adoption of DLT blockchains and benefit various institutions all over the capital markets. In that regard, I think we'll just start discussing cross-chain, and I'd be thrilled to hear Jonathan's views on the importance of cross-chain and how communication between chains and institutions in a multi-chain world could look and work.
Yeah, so thank you, Sergey, and thank you for the invite. Let me start maybe because I know not everybody is aware about Swift, but I will try to explain it very quickly. So Swift is a cooperative, is an international cooperative. We run perhaps the biggest network in financial services today for capital markets, for payments, for FX, for trade. We are headquartered in Belgium, although we have sort of operations everywhere. And we have around 11,000 banks that are connected to Swift today. They exchange financial information in the most secure, reliable, and scalable way. All right, so that's one, just to frame it that. The second piece is that the POC that we're doing, it's the end of a long story, right? I think 5 or 7 years ago was the first time Swift and Chainlink started working together. You were actually one of the first startups that we bet on. You won the startup challenge that we used to have a long time ago. And then even before blockchain was something that financial services had in their minds, I don't think at the time nobody was doing anything on blockchain, on financial services. Swift and Chainlink worked together on the first POC that we did on bond issuance and redemption. It was quite successful. And that was maybe the first steps of this sort of love story between Swift and Chainlink, which continues today.
So there you have it, two major partnerships with sort of financial giants that both of these projects have. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section, because I happen to think that both of these projects are going to do exceptionally well. I think they've got the partnerships, I think they've got the technology, and it's going to be very interesting to see. And maybe there's a sort of coalition that comes between these two, but they're both, in my opinion, trying to work to facilitate RealFi. Maybe we can call this the battle for RealFi. And Chainlink and Quant Network are really at the heart of it. I want to know your thoughts in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think these two projects are similar? Do you think they're not? And who do you think is the better project and likely to see more adoption of their protocol as a result of this? Let me know in the comment section. We did say this was going to be a polarizing video, and I do believe it has been. On that note, I'm going to love and leave you. That was a Quant versus Chainlink, or a Chainlink versus Quant overview. And I'm going to love and leave you on that note. If you've enjoyed the content, like us, appreciate it, so as a comment, and I'll see you all in the next one. Thanks a lot for watching, guys. See you in the next.